Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Guitar Transformation Bootcamp. It is officially time. I am so excited to be here with you all. It is day one of the Guitar Transformation Bootcamp. I have been waiting so long for this. It's been a long time since the last one, so this is going to be such a fun time. Thank you all for joining me here. My name is Caitlin Caggiano, and this is the Guitar Transformation Bootcamp, 4 days of free teaching to help you transform your guitar playing. This whole bootcamp is all about giving you the proper foundation so that you can have lasting transformation in your playing. We cannot have lasting transformation without a solid foundation, and that's what this week is all about. So I'm so excited to see so many people in here. We already have over 200 people in this room and we just logged on, so this is so exciting for me. There is a chat feature in the YouTube live. If you have a YouTube account, you can go in and comment, and if you have not made a YouTube account, go ahead and make one so you can join in the fun with the chat. It would be awesome if you guys want to jump in the chat and first of all let me know if you can hear me and see me clearly. That would be very helpful, but also go in that chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know how long you've been playing the guitar, maybe what you're wanting to learn. I'm all about community with this. I say for guitar players, if we want to become better guitar players, we have to focus on community over competition. It's really important for us to help each other, encourage each other, inspire each other, and that is what this part of this bootcamp is all about. So have fun with that. I also want to say for those of you that have been battling this horrible snowstorm, first of all, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. I actually just flew in this morning from Indianapolis. I was supposed to get in yesterday and everything was canceled. So by the grace of God, I got here to make this happen. But for those of you that are battling through that, just please stay safe, stay warm. And if you don't have power or Wi-Fi and you cannot be watching this right now, but I do want to make it known that these video sessions are recorded. So if you are dealing with some spotty Wi-Fi or power due to this storm, please know that these bootcamp sessions will be up for another week. I'll actually keep these up here till next Friday. So that first Friday of February. Okay. But I'm so excited for this. I just want to talk a little bit about the plans for tonight's session. I'm first going to start off just by explaining everything that you guys need to know to have a very successful and fun bootcamp week. I've got a ton of links in the description here, so I'm going to go through those, do a little housekeeping so we know where everything is. Make sure you guys have all the links, all the PDFs, the fun resources for all of this. I'm also going to get into the teaching segment tonight where I'm going to get into the day one sessions topics. That's going to be music theory. So I'm going to be talking all about that. It's probably going to be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour of teaching tonight. And then what we're going to get into is a Q&A session, a Q&A time at the end here. If you have tuned in these boot camps before, you know that I love my Q&A time and I love answering all the questions that I can. Some people have asked how long these sessions are, and they've been averaging 60 to 90 minutes for the sessions for the past boot camps. But it really depends on how many questions I have in that Q&A time. But the teaching segment should be no more than an hour for each of these. So I'm so excited for tonight. Let's go ahead and first, you know what, before we get into the links and stuff, I know I see some familiar names and YouTube handles on here. I know there's some people in here that have learned from me before, taken my sessions before, or my one-on-one lessons, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that have never even seen me before. So let me first just introduce myself so we all feel like a big happy family here, and then I'm going to get into all of the links in the description. If you have never met me before, my name is Caitlin Caggiano, and I am healthily obsessed with teaching people how to understand the guitar. I have been actually teaching the guitar for nearly 20 years. It'll be 20 years this coming March that I've been teaching the guitar. So I love it. It is my purpose. It is my passion. And I have sacrificed a lot to be able to teach as many people as possible because I really believe that it's why I'm on this earth, to help you understand the guitar and speak the language of music on the guitar. I got my degree in classical guitar, so I really love all the nerdy stuff, technique and theory. But I understand that classical guitar is probably not what everybody wants to be playing. So I use the technique and theory from my classical knowledge and background to really help modern day players really transform their guitar playing. And that's a lot of the things that we're going to be doing tonight are things that I've learned from classical guitar technique. But I've been performing, I've done touring, I've done session work. I've got a show at Disney that I play for here in Orlando, and I do a lot in the music realm. But I will say, I would give everything up to just teach. I absolutely love teaching. It is the most rewarding thing for me. It is the most life-changing thing. I love performing. I love being on a stage, but my real desire in life is to help people. And I know I can help a lot more people by teaching them how to do what I do. So that's just a little bit about me. I do teach one-on-one lessons. I see actually some of the names of my students in here, but I love these bootcamp sessions. And let me talk a little bit about why I actually do these bootcamps. This is the third bootcamp that I've run, and it is 4 days of free sessions. And the reason why I do these bootcamps is because I really feel called to give guitar players a proper foundation to their guitar learning. I have found that some people in here might have found this as well. When you're learning guitar, if you're taking guitar lessons, you're watching YouTube videos, the guitar teaching world is so oversaturated. There are so many YouTube videos you can look up. There's so many different methods of teaching. And honestly, a lot of guitar learning, a lot of guitar lessons really just is learning songs, strumming along the chords, or reading tablature, and not really understanding how the guitar actually works. I believe music is communication, music is a language, and I really believe in order for us to be musicians, we need to be speaking the language of music on the instrument and being able to share what's in our heart with others through this instrument. So that's really what I teach. Obviously, I love teaching songs. We're going to actually analyze the song at the end of this lesson here, which I'm really excited about. But it's really my desire to help guitar players learn how to understand the instrument, actually be able to look at this fretboard and know what's going on and not just guess or think we're on, certain fret numbers, but actually really truly understand how this instrument was designed and how we can speak the language of music on it. Now, when I'm talking about speaking the language of music, I'm not talking about actually sight reading, like reading piano notes, but just being able to communicate and know what's going on. So I've designed this bootcamp week. I've designed these specific 4 sessions to really target what I believe are the most important foundational elements of guitar learning. We're going to be covering practical music theory. That's tonight's session. And I know music theory is a scary word for a lot of guitar players because we just want to feel, we don't want to think, right? But I tell my students, learning music and really speaking music, it's a balance of formula and feel. We have to, if we're learning a language, it's important for us to actually understand the alphabet and then be able to speak this language. So this practical music theory lesson tonight, my desire is not only to teach you theory, but also help you understand why it's important and also help you fall in love with it. We're going to be talking about basic elements of music theory tonight. Nothing crazy, but enough to help us understand what's going on in the songs we're learning, being able to communicate with other musicians, and be able to speak what we want to speak through this instrument. That's all part of it. I actually was teaching a workshop this past weekend in Indiana, and I had a student ask me, you tell us you don't want us to think, you want us to feel, and like what is all that? Because if we're learning theory, isn't that a lot of thinking? And there is a point where yes, we're going to be doing some thinking tonight. Obviously, we're going to be looking at the structure of music theory, but it's important for us to do a little bit of thinking now so that we can feel later on. So we become fluent in it. I'm a teacher where you're not going to hear me say the word memorize a lot. I tell my students formula and fluency over forced memorization. So that's really what tonight is about. It's about these practical musical elements. If you've been intimidated by music theory before, I'm going to be taking away that intimidation tonight. Okay. So that's day 1. Day 2, which is tomorrow night, is going to be all about fretboard formulas. This is really important. It's so important to actually understand how the fretboard works, why the strings are even tuned the way they are, why the B string is always giving us problems. If you know that, you know it. So we're going to be talking about ways to understand how the notes are organized on the fretboard. We're going to understand why that's important, and we're not going to have to memorize things. I'm going to show you these little formulas that you just plug things in, and it makes life really easy for guitar players. Day 3 is probably the most important. I shouldn't say the most important day. They're all important, but day 3 is the one where we really hit the high numbers of streaming. Day 3 is the cage system. And as I said before, I really try to make these sessions no more than 90 minutes long. So I am going to be teaching as much as I can, the complete cage system under 90 minutes. It is a fantastic session. The past 2 times I've run this boot camp, day 3 of the cage system is the one where everything really begins to come together and we experience a lot of breakthrough. So that will be one. You'll probably want to rewatch that one if you really want to kind of take some notes on that one, but that will be one too. If you know guitar players in your life that could benefit from it, tell them to join in on day 3. Okay, so that again is Wednesday night, day 3. Day 4, our final day, is all about scales and improvisation. We're going to be talking about how we can use muscle memory to really understand where the scales are all across the fretboard. And I'm going to show you some hacks to help us improvise really easily without having to be super creative. So that's a really, really great thing to learn. That's how we really put everything together and speak the language of music. Now, I might have some people in who are rhythm guitar players, some people in who are lead guitar players, some people who are both. It's so important that we are as versatile as possible as guitar players, and we want to be able to understand scales even if we're rhythm players. We want to be able to understand chords if we're lead guitar players, and I'll explain in depth when we get to that last session why that's important. Now, if you have attended this boot camp before, you might remember there were more than 4 days. So I just want to say this now. Stay tuned. If you're getting the emails from me, you're going to want to check those emails. If you're in the Facebook group, definitely check the notifications on the Facebook group. I have a habit of teaching more than I should, and we might add in a few bonus days here. Okay, so we have 4 official days, but just stay tuned. We might add some bonus days later on. Okay, but one question that I do get asked when I start this boot camp is, why do I offer this for free? Why do I teach these this week-long sessions of masterclasses for free? And honestly, my true desire is to help as many people as possible. I really believe there's a lot of intimidation when it comes to guitar learning. As I said before, the guitar learning market is so oversaturated, and it's very easy to get stuck on the wrong path. It's very easy to play the guitar for a long time and not even really learn the guitar or improve in your playing. And I really, it's my life's work to fix that. It's my life's work to change that. And I just know if I offer these things for free, I mean, there's already over 350 people in the room right now. I can help a lot of people. So that is, I will tell you right now, I'm going to run these boot camps every year. These boot camps will always be free. Okay. So let's get into what we have going on in the description here. And let me say this here before we get into all this stuff. If you guys have questions on anything about the bootcamp, anything that's coming out of my mouth that you have a question about, whether it's the teaching or the bootcamp or whatever it is, go ahead and wait till the end of the session for the Q&A time to ask the question through the chat feature. What happens is if I see questions going through and then there's too many on there and I have to scroll back. So if you can hold your questions to the Q&A time, that would be very beneficial if you want to write your question down, type it down, and copy and paste it later. And I will also, if you have to leave early or you're going to watch this session later, I'm going to explain how you can ask the question if you're not attending live. Okay. I'm a teacher that's obsessed with answering questions. I want to make sure that there's not confusion or chaos with what we're doing. I want to make sure we're all on the same page and we're truly all in this together. Okay. I will tell you right now, whether you're a beginner, whether you've never picked up a guitar before, whether you just learned to tune the guitar, or whether you've been playing for a long time, you've been soloing, whatever you're doing, I will tell you right now, we are all in this together. We're all going to improve our skill set together. This bootcamp is about educating, encouraging, and inspiring. Okay. We are a family here, and that's another thing that I want to talk about here with the Facebook group. There's so much fun stuff going on there already. So let's get into this. In the description of this YouTube video, if you go ahead and click where it says like 370, some people are watching now, started streaming, whatever, go ahead and click on that, and then we'll take you to the YouTube description. Okay. It'll say learn the practical music theory elements. The first link there, it says get fully registered. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to screen share here to show you what's going on. If you guys attended the bootcamp, the pre-bootcamp party last week, you've already seen this. So just sit tight for a bit. For those that are completely new to this, I do want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay. Let's get screen sharing going up. Okay. So that very first link, it says get fully registered. That is the bootcamp registration. If you're in this video, if you're watching this video right now, you've probably already registered. If you are not receiving emails from me about when we're going live, about what the bootcamp days are, whatever it is, go ahead and put your email address in there and click sign up. You will get sent an automated email on all of the information about the bootcamp with the downloadable workbook, the Facebook group link. You're going to get the links to all of the sessions. So definitely do that. If that email does not show up, it should be showing up, but just go ahead and check your junk folder if you don't see that. Okay. The next next link underneath that says Bootcamp resources and replays. That's going to take you to this page. This page really has everything you need. You guys can download the workbook. I'm going to show you the workbook here in just a little bit. You can download the workbook. You can join the Facebook group. I'll show you that here in just a second. You can also become a member to my all access membership program, which opens up, doors open this coming Sunday, which is so exciting. That's another cool thing we're celebrating with this bootcamp. I'll talk a little bit about that later on. I don't want to spend too much time on it because tonight's all about teaching, but you will be able to have all of the replays in here as well. These are the links to the live sessions. The links to the live sessions are also the same link as the recording when these are done, so you can stream these later. So this page will have all of them. Okay, so even let's say Saturday you wanted to catch up on everything, just go to this page here, the resources and replays, and you'll have all the sessions there. And I will say, if I do add bonus days, the bonus days will also be in here as well. I think you guys know already the bonus days are probably going to happen with how I'm talking about it. Okay, so the next one says download the workbook. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a Dropbox file. You just simply click the download button in the top right corner. That is our downloadable PDF workbook. This is not a requirement. I don't want people to think that they have to be downloading this, but I will say this is a great way to supplement your learning. Tonight, we're talking about music theory. So I have the pillars of music theory listed here. I have some great diagrams here for you guys. My definition of musical key, some really cool stuff there. So this is just a great fun way to enhance the learning process here. This exercise here, the major scale circle of fifths, that's actually related to our challenge for tonight, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. So that is important to download, not required, but it is cool. The next link is join the Facebook group. Our Guitar Transformation Facebook group is such a fun place to be. This is a community group that is open during this week, and it also will stay open for another week after the boot camp. It's a great place to connect and just encourage people, inspire people. I'll be sharing the links with everything here. Also, when we do our challenges, which I'll explain here in just a second, when we do our challenges, the challenges can be posted to this Facebook group. Now, I totally understand with the world we live in and all of the drama and chaos on social media that I don't like to see. That's one reason why I really don't like being on social media. I understand why some people don't want Facebook. This group is just guitar learning related stuff. So if you don't have a Facebook, if you want to make like a burner account just for the next week or so and join us, totally fine. If you do not want to make a Facebook, I completely understand that. I will show you how you can sign up or how you can do the challenges and participate in that without the Facebook, okay? Without the Facebook group. But it is a fun place to be. Definitely get into that. It's a private group, so we do not have to worry about like trolls or people that are commenting things or saying things that we don't need. This is a private group. You just click the button and I will accept you in there very soon. The next link here is the All Access membership. So I have kind of been talking about this a little bit for the last few months. My All Access membership is my private online coaching group and community where you can get access to my video course library, diagram library, and my private coaching and community group, which is where I do my monthly master classes. I have Q&A sessions on there. It's a really, really fun thing. It's lifetime access to everything. You can even check out the value of everything that you're getting. You can also see the different tiers of the membership program that we have. We've got 3 tiers. The silver is basically the video courses, diagram library, masterclass recordings, and the gold includes all of that with the community group, the monthly live streams, guitar Q&A. The platinum is all of that with about 12 one-on-one coaching calls for 1 year of private coaching. So really cool stuff. You can actually watch the video on it if you're interested in it and see what other people are saying. I'll talk more about this later on. I definitely want to get into teaching for tonight, but stay tuned for that. The doors open this coming Sunday, February 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I will say it is limited. I'm only going to be allowing 150 people into the gold membership and only 10 into the platinum. So if you are interested in that, definitely set your alarms for February 1st at 6 p.m. But I will be talking more about this later on this week. If you do want to check out the video courses, you can click the button that says all courses at the top, and that will show you the 30 video courses that I have for purchase. I'm actually going to be giving away my Music Theory Made Easy course tonight to 2 lucky people or tomorrow night for the challenges for today. But you can check out any of these courses. Let's say you wanted to look at the music theory course. You can actually see what it includes. You can preview some of the videos. It's fantastic. Now, these courses are a little pricey. They range from $100 to $200 per course because there is such vital information in it. I am going to tell you something kind of crazy right now, but please don't buy the courses. I know that sounds silly, but if you are interested in these courses, I would wait for the membership to open up because you get lifetime access to every single one of these courses for the price of just a few of the courses. So it's totally worth it. If you want to buy them tonight, go ahead. That's totally fine, but it's an absolutely crazy deal with the lifetime access for all of this stuff. So we're going to keep going on here. The next link, and then I'm so itching to get into teaching. The next link does show the courses, but the link after that says extra resources. This is something that I added in here. I think I did this for the last boot camp as well. This is an extra page of just some like supplemental resources that I think might be helpful outside of what's in the workbook. For example, we're going to talk about this piano to guitar diagram that people have gone crazy over. They absolutely love it. It's not in the workbook, but I did put it in this Dropbox folder where it says piano to guitar. So there are going to be a few extra stuff in here that I'll explain. If there's more things that I add in, this will be a good page to bookmark. And if you're wondering like, okay, well, do I have to like save all these links? On every YouTube session that I do this week, those links will also be there. Okay. I think that's about it. I do have a lesson link if you want to book a one-on-one lesson with me. I will tell you, if you are interested in lessons, I'm already booked up through about mid-March. Things get booked up really quickly for me, so definitely hop on that. Okay, then the contact page. Let's talk about the contact page. If you have a question on anything, obviously in the live session, you can be here for the Q&A. But if you have a question on anything while you're streaming these videos later, this is where you can ask the question, okay? I'm a teacher that's obsessed with trying to answer as many questions as possible. So you can click that contact link, just fill your name and email and the topic of it and what the question is, and you can put it there. You can also, this is where you can be entering your challenges, and I'll talk about that later tonight. I also put my Instagram there if you guys want that, but I'm so ready to teach. Okay, wow, let's get to it. Let me get back to here. See all you beautiful people, but all I see are your names. Okay, we're getting ready to teach today. I'm so excited. Again, if you have questions on anything, please wait till the Q&A time at the end here. I think the teaching segment of this, I'm going to try to wrap the teaching up in about 45 minutes or so. So, yeah, let's get to it. Great. So tonight is all about music theory. Music theory is one of the most important things that we can learn. Music theory is something that most people don't want to learn. As I said before, like especially guitar players, especially rock guitar players. One second here, guys. I just got to get some tea. You know me and my tea. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I always have my tea with me. A lot of guitar players just want to feel. They just want to feel the music. They don't want to think at all. Let's think about this, okay? If we're going to move to a foreign country, a country that we do not speak the language of, if we were going on vacation, we don't really need to speak the language, okay? We can have like a Google Translator device or something, and we can kind of get by. We can be a hobbyist in that country, okay? Let's think about this with musician terms. We can be a hobbyist by not knowing the language, okay? But if we want to make friends in that new place, that foreign country, if we want to create community, if we want to understand or build relationships, if we want to be successful or have a job in that country, it's probably important to learn the language, okay? So it's kind of the same thing with music. Music is communication. Music is a language. Music theory is really this beautiful balance between mathematics and language. It really is. It's very interesting. I absolutely love it. My dream was actually to be a math teacher, so I love mathematical things. So that's why this is so important. We want to be able to communicate with other musicians. We want to be able to understand the songs that we're learning. And we want to be able to just become the best guitar players we can be. Okay? I really believe the definition of a musician is somebody who is speaking the language of music on their instrument. It's not someone that's just regurgitating songs. This is where I actually have two different terms that I kind of throw around here: guitar player and guitarist. Guitar player is someone that plays the guitar. A guitarist is somebody that's an artist with the guitar, and they're speaking the language on the guitar. So that's what tonight is. I've seen some of these comments make me laugh. I wrote a math paper. That's what tonight is all about. Okay? So the topics of music theory that we're going to be covering tonight, very simple. And I will tell you right now, if you have been kind of intimidated by music theory before, if you can get through this next hour session, that's pretty much what you need for the foundation. We can go really deep with music theory. We can go really complex with it, but we're going to be as simple as possible for tonight. Okay. Topics of music theory, we're going to talk about: 1, the musical alphabet and notes on the fretboard. If music is a language, it should be important to know the alphabet of what we're speaking, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. Notes of the fretboard, musical alphabet. 2, major keys. 3, major scales. And 4, diatonic chords and Nashville number system. These 4 elements are really the most important elements of music theory that you will ever learn. If we were going to add a 5th element, I would say it is rhythm. I do have a rhythm section in the PDF booklet. We're not going to be getting into that tonight, but that might be something that you want to look at. That might also be a bonus session, okay? Rhythm and strumming. So we're going to get into it here. Let's talk about the first element of music theory, which is the musical alphabet and notes on the fretboard. I'm going to do some screen sharing here. Guys, every single PDF, if you've taken one-on-one lessons with me, masterclasses before, you already probably know what I'm going to say. Anytime I put a PDF on the screen sharing, 2 things. 1, I will give you access to it. You do not need to be screenshotting it or anything. And 2, you do not need to memorize it. I don't like the word memorization. I'm not going to throw that word around a lot. I am more focused on formula and fluency rather than forced memorization. Let's think about this right now. If I was teaching you French tonight, okay, which you wouldn't want me doing that. I'm not fluent in French. But if I was teaching you a different language that you have not learned and you're not fluent in, I would probably not expect you to be memorizing everything right now. Okay. When we are learning music theory, and keep this as the mindset whenever you're doing anything theoretical with music, whenever we're learning music theory, we want to think about it as we're planting seeds. We are planting seeds tonight. If we're planting a seed, when we wake up tomorrow, nothing's going to be popping out of the ground, okay? That is completely healthy. That's completely normal. But the seed's been planted. But we're going to be watering it. We're going to be cultivating it. We're going to be nurturing it. And over time, that seed's they're going to blossom and grow, and there's going to finally be something popping out of the ground, okay? So please don't be discouraged if you don't absorb all of this perfectly right now, okay? And that's another reason why I have these recorded, okay? Again, I'm not a teacher where you guys have to come up to my level. I want to be on your level here with you, helping you through all of this. So we're going to be talking about some things tonight, and even throughout the rest of these sessions that might seem intimidating. Especially, I will say this right now, we're going to get in the cage system, and there's some crazy bar chord shapes that you're going to see me doing with my hands. First of all, you don't have to play the bar chords to learn the cage system, but if you see anything tonight or in this 4-day period that look too difficult for you, my desire in my heart as a teacher, and I hope this happens, is I make things that look difficult seem inspiring rather than intimidating. Okay? I tell my students concept over everything. So if we can at least understand the concept and the visualization, we might not be able to play it with our hands perfectly. That's totally fine. Allow these things to inspire you. These 4 days of sessions this week, I'm not expecting you to master these topics within the next 4 days, but these are the topics that I want to introduce you to and give you a solid foundation of, so in the future, you can dive deeper in these and you can actually spend time learning the cage system and getting these under your fingers, okay? So let's get into it. Notes of the fretboard. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up here. Oh, and let me just say this here first. This notes of the piano to guitar, this is nothing to memorize, obviously, but these are the notes of the piano in their octaves. Octaves is just the series of the musical alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, low and high. For example, middle C is the green C here, and you can see that's in one place on the piano, obviously. Middle C is in 5 places on the guitar. We've got the high E string, low E string. This is a 24 fret model, and you can see this is why sight reading on the guitar is a little difficult. Music theory on the guitar is a little difficult, because we have multiple places of playing the same exact note in the same octave, okay? So this is just a cool thing to be looking at. We'll talk more and more about this, especially when we talk about the cage system. But here we go, notes of the fretboard. You guys might have seen something like this before if you've been studying the guitar. If you've never seen anything like this before, totally fine. Let me first just explain how I do my diagrams. Most of the diagrams that you guys see, really everything you're going to see today, are things that I have made. When I make my diagrams, I have the high E string at the top right here. I have the low E string at the bottom. String 1, string 6, if you think about them as numbers. We have the fret numbers here. I actually do my notes of the fretboard diagrams with 2 diagrams. This one has just the sharp notes, which are I used to say £, but now I have to say hashtag, okay? And then the next one here are the flats. So I have two of these. The reason why I isolate the sharps and the flats and have them as 2 different diagrams, excuse me, I was in the Midwest and in the cold this week. My throat's a little sore. Anyway, we have sharps and flats. That we want to isolate them because when we are playing songs in different keys, which I'm going to talk about in just a little bit here, we either have sharp keys that use sharp notes or flat keys that use flat notes. Okay, we're not going to use both at once. But I want to tell you right now, if you have ever had a guitar teacher tell you to memorize this, memorize the notes of the low E string, memorize the notes of the fretboard, please run away as fast as you can. That is not how we're going to be doing things. We're going to be talking about formulas. And tomorrow is all about fretboard formulas to really understand the little hacks of this and little cheat codes of this. But I'm going to show you one fretboard formula here today, which will be probably the most beneficial thing you'll ever learn about the fretboard. Here we go. Our musical alphabet. I would say if you're going to memorize anything, let's memorize the musical alphabet, which is super easy. The musical alphabet is made up of 7 letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There is no H. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's 7 letters. We want to start thinking about music and the musical alphabet as a cycle, meaning it's going to continue going on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, on and on and on. Okay? Wherever we start, it's a cycle. So if we start on E, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, it's the same cycle. There is going to be a sharp note or a flat note. Come on, keyboard, work for me. Hang on here. Or a flat note in between every single letter note, except B and C and E and F will not have a sharp or flat in between them. Okay, they will not. If I have a B sharp, that's just C. If I have a C flat, that's just B. Okay? So if we understand our musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we know that there's a sharp or flat in between every letter except B and C and E and F, we can figure out the notes of the fretboard if we know the note of the open string. I'll show you that here in a second. But I first want to explain what a sharp and a flat actually is. The second fret of the low E string is the note F sharp. It's also the note G flat, okay? We can think about sharps and flats as if I start on a note and I go up, I'm sharping that note. So this would be an F sharp. Or if I start on the note G and go down and go back, it would be a flat. Okay, now this is what we call an enharmonic. It's basically the same note with a different name. Now we're going to be using sharps for songs with sharp keys, flats for songs with flat keys, and we're going to talk about that a little bit when we talk about keys. But if we know the musical alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we know there's a sharp or flat in between every letter note except B and C and E and F, and we know the note of the open string, we can figure this out. So if we start on E, okay, well, E to F, we go straight to F, then F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, straight to C, C sharp D, D sharp E. When you get to the 12th fret, the guitar repeats itself. It's just now an octave higher or one series higher, okay? The notes of the 12th fret are the same as the open string. That's why we have 2 dots on the 12th fret. That is the second time you see the note of the open string. So I want to show you the easiest way to be practicing this. This is a very important way to practice this. This is what we call a chromatic scale. And I'm going to zoom in here so that you can see this a little bit more clearly. One second here, guys. Hang on here. There we go. Okay, everyone should be able to see my guitar a little bit better here now. This is the best way to practice your musical alphabet and the notes of the fretboard. The goal here is not memorization. The goal here is we're becoming more comfortable and familiar with these notes every time. If that is your goal, you're going to memorize this pretty quickly, okay? We're going to do 1 string at a time. I recommend doing this 1 string a week, even just a few minutes a day. I'm going to do this for the low E string. I'm going to start on the open string, and I'm going to go all the way up to the 12th fret, because that's E to E. I'm going to go up saying the sharp notes and down saying the flats. I'm also going to use good technique by keeping my fingers in position. In position means 1 finger per fret. If I have 12 frets that I'm passing through for this exercise, and I have 4 fretting hand fingers, 12 divided by 4 is 3. I will have 3 positions here. I'm going to have index, middle, ring, pinky for frets 1 through 4. Same thing for 5 through 8, and same thing for 9 through 12, okay? Here's what this is going to look like. You do not need to do this for memory. I'm giving you guys these diagrams. Use the diagrams when you do this, okay? I'm going to go up with the sharps, down with the flats. And I'm just doing a downstroke with this, but you can do alternating strokes, whatever you like, okay? E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Down with the flats. E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E. If you do that just a few times a day, you will be so impressed with yourself at how fast you actually do memorize this, okay? Very, very great exercise. If you practice regularly, just start 2 or 3 minutes of that. It's absolutely fantastic, okay? That's called a chromatic skill. Chromatic is a fancy way of saying we're not skipping any notes. So that's the secrets of the musical alphabet, okay? Hopefully that's all pretty clear. The next element of music theory that we want to talk about is musical keys, okay? Now, we have 12 notes total in music. If we think about, we've got 7 letters, and then we've got a sharp or flat in between each letter except B and C, E, and F. If we add all that together, we have 12 actual notes in music. We also call these semitones, and we can also call these half steps. A half step in music is 1 fret on the guitar. Whole step is 2 frets. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. And a half step on the piano is 1 key. Okay, so we have 12 notes total, so we can have a musical key for each of these 12 notes. Now, one second. I've been teaching all weekend in the Arctic tundra, so my throat's a little dry. Hang on here. Don't you love live sessions, right? You see me actually be a human. Also, for those asking, I am not AI. None of my videos are AI. I am a real person who has a dry throat from speaking in Indiana this weekend. That's why I need tea. But let's carry on. Let's talk about what a musical key is. A musical key is one of the most important things any guitar player can learn, any musician can really learn. We need to understand this to really understand the songs that we're playing. Now, a lot of music theory terms, if we Google them, sometimes the definition makes it even more confusing than before we Google the definition, okay? So here's my definition for musical key. A musical key is a musical environment or ecosystem in which a song is living in. This might be weird, but I think about songs as living things. Some of the best musicians are serving the song. It's a lot easier for us to serve something that's alive, actually, if we think about it like that. So let me say that again. A musical key is a musical environment or ecosystem in which the song is living in. If we think about our world, we have different environments, different ecosystems in our world, and we have there's a different set of rules. There's a certain set of rules that everything needs to abide by in that ecosystem for life to survive in that ecosystem. Okay? With me so far? For our musical key or our musical ecosystem, the set of rules that everything needs to abide by is the key's major scale. Let me break this down a little bit more. Everything needs to abide by the key's major scale. What I mean by that is everything in the song, every note of that song, every note of the guitar part, every note of the chord progression, every note of the vocal melody, the bass line, the keyboard part, every note is coming from the key's major scale. This means if we're playing a song in the key of C, every single note is coming from the C major scale. If I'm playing a song in a crazy key like the key of B flat or the key of E flat, every note is coming from the B flat major scale or the E flat major scale. Okay? We're going to dive into this deep here. Okay? But hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. Now, when I say everything abides by the key's major scale, you're going to hear me say this, but you're going to notice this when you study music theory. There are naturally occurring rules in music. Music is absolutely beautiful. There is a divine order, and people might make fun of me for saying that, but if you think about like the Fibonacci sequence and what we see in nature, music has a divine nature to it. There's a divine order to it. That's also why if you ever take a guitar lesson or a music theory lesson and something is confusing to you, it has not been taught the correct way. Music has a divine order to it. There are naturally occurring rules in music, and if we follow this order and these naturally occurring patterns and rules, there's nothing chaotic about it. Okay. Even in like jazz and new metal and all that stuff, it's still not chaotic because there's actually rules to break the rules. But what I'm talking about here with these naturally occurring rules is a fancy word for this is diatonic. Diatonic basically means we're not breaking any rules. Now, music is a creative realm, thank God, because it makes things really interesting. So we have artists and composers and bands that break these rules. For example, the song Imagine by John Lennon is in the key of C, but there's a G sharp in the chorus, and he breaks the rule. Still in the key of C, but he uses a note outside of the key, okay? It's a broken rule. But as Picasso said, we want to know the rules like a professional so we can break them like an artist, okay? So what I'm going to be showing you today are the naturally occurring rules in music, but you are more than welcome to break them at any time when you want to create with them, okay? So what I'm going to be showing you here is an organized chart of all of the keys that we have in music and the notes of those keys. So the notes of those keys is just the major scale of those keys, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is actually the exact same information as the circle of fifths. Some of you in here might have heard the term circle of fifths before. The circle of fifths is just kind of a fancy way of saying we're organizing our keys in a way to make it really easy on ourselves. Basically what the circle of fifths is it's just a way to organize our keys. So every time we go to the next key, we're adding one sharp or one flat. Okay, basically each key's major scale is just one note different. Now what I find is guitar players' brains, and this might be a stereotype, but I have been teaching for a long time and I have found this with a lot of students, and I actually have a brain so much like this. Guitar players' brains sometimes think better in boxes and grids, whereas piano players and other instrumentalists think a little bit better in circles or cycles. We deal with the matrix here. So what I've done is I've actually created the information of the circle of fifths into a chart or a grid or a matrix. So if you have ever struggled with the circle of fifths, I hope this chart that I'm about to show you brings some breakthrough. Now in the extra resources folder, the Dropbox folder, I did put an actual circle of fifths if you do want to see what that is. But I personally think this is the best way to view it. Okay, so let's look at this together here. Let's get nerdy here a second. There we go. Okay, so these are the major keys and major scales we have in music. We have divided this up into two different charts. The first chart are the sharp keys we have in music. These are keys that use sharp notes in their major scale. We also have flat keys that use flat notes in their major scale. Now, the first column is the name of our key. The second column is the number of sharps or flats we have in the key's major scale. The next 7 columns are the 7 notes we have in the key's major scale. Now, before we start getting scared here, you do not need to memorize any of the information on this, okay, guys? You don't need to memorize any of this. And let me encourage you right now, if some of this stuff is feeling a little bit intimidating, let's think about this. We only have 7 letters in the musical alphabet. If you're speaking the English language, which if you've been listening to me, you probably have been speaking the English language, there are 26 letters in the English language, in the English alphabet, and we as children were able to learn all of them. We are only dealing with 7 letters, okay? We are only dealing with 7 letters. Every single person in here, I'm going to give you the tools, and we have the ability to understand the musical alphabet, the musical language. Okay. So please, and think about it. I mean, I remember when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, I was not reading fluently. Okay. And not reading like a ton of books, but I was learning this. Okay. And over time I was speaking it and becoming more fluent in it. So you do not need to be memorizing anything in this right now. Okay. So we've got the sharp keys and the flat keys. Now, if you were paying attention a few minutes ago, I said we have 12 keys. Well, you might call me a liar because if you look at this and count this, we have more than 12. The reason for that is for each of these charts, we start with the key of C, okay? And we also have enharmonics. F sharp is the same thing as G flat. C sharp is the same thing as D flat. So we have some overlap here. C flat is actually the same thing as B. We've probably never used C flat. The ones that are not in bold, we would probably use the other name for it. So for example, C sharp, we're always going to call that D flat. F sharp, it's kind of hit or miss now, but back in the day, it would really always be G flat, okay? So what we have here is we're starting out with the key of C. We start out with the key of C because the key of C has no sharps or flats. It's easy to work with. On the piano, it's all the white keys, okay? We have 7 notes of each of these major scales, and it's very simple to figure out the notes of the major scale. Let's just have the 7 letters starting on C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's the C major scale. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a formula with this. And again, you don't have to be memorizing it, but we start off with the key of C. These are the notes of the key of C. We're going to go up a fifth. If you don't know how to go up a fifth, just go to the 5th note of the major scale of the key of C. That's now the 5th of it. So C, the 5th of C is G, G major. When we go up a 5th, we add a sharp. You're not going to notice it's an F sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, but it's an F sharp. Okay? If we go up a 5th to D, key of D, we add another sharp. We now have 2 sharps. Okay? So that is the pattern here. Now with the flats, it's pretty much the same thing, but we're going up by fourths rather than fifths. So you can see C to a 4th is F. We go to F. We're also dealing with flats rather than sharps. Now, you do not need to be memorizing anything, but if you want to understand something, the most important thing to understand here is when you are playing a song in any of these keys, these are the notes that song is using. These are also the notes that you could use to improvise over that song. If I'm playing a song in the key of E, let's say I'm playing Don't Stop Believing in the key of E. That's a song in the key of E, right? There we go. That means that song is made up of these notes. That's it. If I'm playing U2's With or Without You, that's in the key of D. That means these are the notes that are used to create that song. That means if I want to solo over that song, I can use these notes, this major scale, the D major scale. Okay. Now there actually is a formula to this, and you do not need to know this, but if you enjoy nerdy things like me, I'm going to explain it here real quick, but if you don't want to think nerdy stuff, just plug your ears for about, 2 minutes here. Okay. So if you want to figure out the notes of any key, pick any key. Let's pick the key of E. Okay. Step 1, you're going to write out the 7 letters of the E major scale, just the letters, not sharps or flats. That's pretty simple. We start on E, go through your cycle. E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Okay. Step 2, carry over anything that was sharp in the previous key. So that would be the key of A. Carry over C sharp and G sharp. Sharp the C, sharp the G. Oh, and F sharp too. Let's sharp that. So we get carried over C sharp, G sharp, and F sharp. Step 3, just add a sharp on the 7th note. That's all you do. Those are the 3 steps. Okay. It's the same thing for the flat keys when you're dealing with flats, and you add the flat on the 4th. I do have a blank one of these. If you want to figure that out by yourself and kind of train yourself on that, it's totally fine. It's extra. I know that's nerdy, but you don't have to do it. If you want to, go for it. Okay. Super fun. That's in the resource folder. Okay. But I want to talk about how you actually form these major scales on the guitar. Here's a major scale formula. I actually didn't talk about this in the last boot camp, but I want to talk about it tonight. This major scale formula, hang on here, I need another sip of tea, guys. My voice is usually not this deep. I've just been talking all weekend in the snow. So what we have here is the major scale formula. This will work for any major scale. That is the beautiful thing about music here. If we can do something for the key of C or one key, we can do it for everything. Okay. So cool here. And especially with the guitar, everything's movable and shiftable. That makes life really easy. I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. If I want to find the C major scale and start with the note C, this is our intervallic formula. Intervallic formula is basically a fancy way of saying, how do I get from one note to the next? Is it a whole step or a half step? Whole step is 2 frets on the guitar or 2 keys on the piano. Half step is 1 fret of the guitar or 1 key on the piano. You start on the root of the core of the scale, which is the letter name of the scale. C major scale, start with C. Go up a whole step to D, whole step, another whole step, then a half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. So it's 2 wholes, 1 half, 3 wholes, 1 half. If you want to do this on the guitar, you can do it with a diagram or on the guitar. I'm going to do it with this C right here, which is the 3rd fret of the A string. Let me show you on the guitar what this will look like. Here we go. Let me zoom in here so you can see this a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with C on the 3rd fret of the A string. Okay. Now, remember our formula? 2 whole steps, 1 half. 3 whole steps, 1 half. Start on the root. Whole step, so which is 2 frets, takes us to D. Another whole step, which is E. Half step, 1 fret, which is F. Whole step, G. Whole step, A. Whole step, B. Half step, C. If you do want a finger position for this this horizontal major scale on one string, this is what I like to do. I like to start with my index finger on the root, index, ring. You're going to go up a whole step 2 frets, index, middle, pinky, go up a whole step, which is 2 frets, index, ring, pinky. One more time, that's index, ring, up 2 frets, index, middle, pinky, up 2 frets, index, ring, pinky. My dog is making a cameo. If you see something moving around there, it's not like a rabbit, it's my dog. I've got a little Australian Shepherd. If you can't see her face, she tends to look like a raccoon walking around my room. Her name's Starlight. We call her Sugar. She's the mascot for the Guitar Transformation Bootcamp. If we have that time at the end, she will make a cameo. I'll put her on my lap and you guys can all say hi. So that's our formula for the major scale. You can do it for anything. Let's say we wanted to do this for E flat major scale. Let's find an E flat on the guitar. There's one here on the 6th fret of the A string. Whole step, F. You can do it for anything and it works, okay? This is where I tell my students, let muscle memory do the heavy lifting for you. I just played an E flat major scale and I know the notes of the E flat major scale, but even if you didn't, if you know where E flat starts, you can use the muscle memory and you can play an E flat major scale, okay? But I'm going to show you a really cool way to take the information of the circle of fifths and apply it to the guitar. What we are doing, it's very important to understand what we're doing here is a music theory exercise to help train our ear, to help hear what a major scale sounds like. And it's also a great dexterity exercise. This major scale exercise that I'm about to show you is not intended for improvisation. We're only going to be doing 1 octave of each major scale, okay? That doesn't give us that's just 7 notes. That doesn't give us a lot of room to improvise with. This is not an improvisational scale exercise. Later on, we're going to do that for night 4, okay? But we're basically taking the information of the circle of fifths. Key of C, here's the notes of the key of C. Key of G, here's the notes of the key of G. And I put it in a tab form. You don't have to think theory with this. You don't have to think about the notes you're playing. Let me show you this here real quick. It's actually on the in the workbook. This is page 12 of the workbook. We have 2 pages of the tabs. We have sharp keys and flat keys. Let me zoom in here so you guys can really see this. We start with the C major scale and we play through 1 octave of the C major scale. Then we go up a fifth to the G major scale and do the G major scale, go up a fifth to the D major scale. All you need to do is follow the tab. That's really all you need to be doing with this. And I'm going to tell you the finger positions here in a second. But it's very, very simple. Basically, we're playing through everything in this chart, but on the guitar. Okay? Now, you can say the notes if you want to. I think just even saying the scale name is fine. The finger positions are going to be the same for each of these. It's going to start with the middle finger. It's going to be middle pinky, index, ring, pinky. I'll show it to you here on the guitar. Let me show you what this exercise will actually look like, okay? And at the end of the day, if you just read the tab, that's it. That's all it is, okay? Very, very simple. Here we go. Okay. It's going to start off with the C major scale. My middle finger is starting off. It's the same finger positions for every single scale we're going to do here, okay? Starting with the middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, that's C. It's going to be middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. Then I go back where I came from. That's all it is. Now you might be saying, wait, hold on here. Hold on. What did she just do, right? We just played a major scale on 1 string with like the whole and half steps. This does not look anything like that. On the guitar, because of how this beautiful instrument is designed, we can play anything on the guitar in 2 ways. We can play our scales horizontally. We can also play our scales vertically. What I've done here is I've taken this horizontal scale and I've moved it down a string for to create a vertical, I won't say box yet. We'll talk about that on night 4, but I will call it a shape. Okay? So this is the exercise. We play through C major scale. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move directionally up 1 string to go to the 5th. Here's G major scale. Same fingers though, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. Now to go to the next 5th, we go up 2 frets, down a string. Here's the D major scale. Now go up a 5th, go up a string to the 5th, which is A. kind of see our pattern here? Now go up 2 frets down. Here's my E major scale, B major scale. You do not need to be doing these fast. Take your time on it. Now to F sharp, and then to C sharp. Notice something interesting here. The starting note of each of my sharp keys was on a dotted fret. C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp. Now when I do the flat keys, I'm going to start with the C here on the low E string 8th fret. C. Now to go to the 4th, we just go down a string. F. Notice they're not on dotted frets. Back 2 frets to B flat. And you can again just follow the tab with this. Then this would be E flat, then A flat, then D flat, and then G flat, and then C flat here, okay? Everything I just played there is on the tab. I'm seeing people say, oh, you're going way too fast, way too fast. I'm just going fast so I have time to cover the next topic. You guys can go back. You can even on YouTube, when this recording is available, you can click the little settings button, the thing that looks like a little cog, and click that and click playback speed and slow it down. Okay, and you can slow these down, take this as slow as you need to. All we're doing is we're playing middle pinky, index middle pinky, index ring pinky for every single key of our major scale. And the purpose of this is so that you can really just hear what these major scales sound like, and you understand the relationship of these fifths, which is going to be very important later on. So this is a really, really great tool to start. Now, this is where I want to introduce the challenge. Every night, we're going to have a challenge. This challenge for tonight is going to be that exercise. Now, I don't care if you do one note. I don't care if you do the whole tab. With these challenges, all I'm looking for is that you're putting in effort. I've run the challenges before, and some people just did the C major scale. Just the C major scale. That's totally fine. If that's all you want to do, that's fine. If that's all you can do, that's fine. Because I just want to see that you are learning and implementing. I teach a lot with these bootcamp sessions. If you can take away one thing, that's a win. Okay, you don't have to take away everything. If you can take away one thing, that's a win. So the challenge is going to be to film yourself playing any of this exercise. You can play any scale you want to here. You can play the whole thing, whatever you want to do. You don't have to be saying the notes. If you just literally want to read the tab, you don't even have to show your face in the recording. If you just want to film your fingers, that's it. What you're going to do is you're going to film yourself doing any of this exercise, and you're going to post it to the you're going to post it to the Facebook group. You're going to film yourself playing the exercise, post it to the Facebook group, okay? For the Facebook group, literally all you have to do is click the post button and put your video up there. That is it. Just shoot it on your phone. Doesn't have to be fancy. That's all it is. This is part of the reason why I do these challenges is because if we want to transform as guitar players and musicians, part of that is actually playing in front of people. And some people in here, I know some people in here have never played in front of anybody, have never even filmed themselves playing. So this is part of it. It's breaking ourselves out of the comfort zone. And if you're scared or nervous thinking, I don't want people to be judging me, I will tell you right now, this Facebook group, this community, and even my all access membership group, I've got members in here that can vouch for this. This is a judgment-free zone. We are all in this together. There will always be someone who's better than you. There will always be someone who is not as experienced as you. We are all in this together. And what you will see, if you just post, I guarantee you will be so encouraged by the comments that you see on this. Okay? So keep that in mind. It is such a fun thing. So that is how you participate in the challenge. Now, if you do not have Facebook and you don't want to create a Facebook account, I totally understand, because there's very little I actually want to be seen on Facebook with what's going on in the world these days. But if you do not want to create a Facebook account, all you need to do is in the links of the description, go ahead and click on Contact Me. That Contact Me page is going to take you to the link that I had shown you before. Let me show you what this looks like. It looks just like this. You're going to fill out your name. You don't have, if you are uncomfortable putting your last name, just put an initial. It's totally fine. But your name, your email, just say this is challenge night 1 or major scale exercise, whatever you want to call it. And in the message, what you're going to do is you're going to put a link to either a Dropbox file or a Google Drive file or like an iCloud or something where you've put the video. So if you don't have a Facebook account, go ahead and just upload your video to either Dropbox or Google Drive or something, and then attach that link in here and I will get that. Okay. Please don't think if you do it this way and you don't do it with Facebook, then you're not going to win. Not at all. That is not how we work. Also, please do not think I pick the best one for the winner. Not at all. The only requirement to be entered into the challenge and giveaway is you have to just put in effort. That's it. Okay. Now I will be giving away 2 prizes. There will be 2 winners and I will be announcing them in tomorrow's live session. Okay. These 2 winners will receive my Music Theory Made Easy video course. It's about a $200 course and you get it for free. These 2 people, lucky winners. I go in depth on a lot of practical music theory topics. It is a fantastic course. I highly recommend it. So you guys get it for free. So there's going to be 2 winners. I will announce it at the top of the session tomorrow night. You do not need to attend the live session to accept the prize. I will be messaging you. If you've done it through the Facebook group, you will see a Facebook message from me that tomorrow night with your prize. I will give you a code to actually get access to the music theory course. If you're a winner and you did not do it through the Facebook group and you did it through the contact page, look for an email from me. I will be emailing you your prize, but I will be announcing 2 winners at the top of tomorrow night. So make sure that you get those in. Okay. Now, the name of the Facebook page is the Guitar Transformation Bootcamp. You can actually just click the link that says join the Facebook group in this description, and that takes you to the Facebook group. Okay. There's close to 2,300 people signed up for this bootcamp, which is unbelievable. This is double the amount of people we had last year. And there's about 11 or 1,200 people in the Facebook group. So I know not everybody has signed up for the Facebook group. Again, that Facebook group link is in this description. It says join the Facebook group. That's where you're going to be posting these. Okay. If you have questions on anything, just contact me through the contact link. Okay. I will be announcing the winners in tomorrow's live session. So that gives you a little less than 24 hours. And even if it's like right before, I literally will pick the winners probably 10 minutes before we go live. Okay. Great. So, yes. So let's continue on here. The very last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to music theory is diatonic chords and Nashville number system. Now that we've learned the notes that are used in any key, we want to really understand the chords that are used in any key so we can understand our songs. Okay. So some of you may have heard the Nashville number system before. If you have heard, oh, it's a 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression, or they're going to the 1 chord or the 4 chord or whatever, like numbers, that's what we're about to look into here. Okay. So what I'm first going to do, anything that I teach, I want to make sure that we are layering on top of what we just learned. I'm really big on that because, again, I don't want there to be confusion or chaos with anything, even if I'm teaching fast or I'm teaching a lot. If you slow it down, you'll notice everything is a layered process. So I'm actually going to go to the previous PDF before we get to the new one for Nashville number system. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So let's say I'm playing a song in the key of C. We have now so far covered and understood that these are the notes that are used in that song. If I wanted to solo in the song, those are the notes that I would actually use. But now let's talk about the chords. These are the chords we can use in the song. So if I'm playing a song in the key of C, that means I can have a C chord, D chord, E chord, F chord, G chord, A chord, and B chord. Okay, well, hang on. Are these major chords? Are they minor? That's where the diatonic chord formula and the Nashville number system comes into play. Here we go. Now this is in your workbook. I also have a formula one here where I'm going to talk about how you can do this for a song analysis in the resource folder. But what we have here is we have the Nashville number system chart. The first column are all of the keys we have in music. Now, these are not done in an order of fifths. This is done chromatically, meaning one half step at a time. So basically just the order of this, like C, D flat, D, E flat, E. Now, you're going to notice I don't have a key of C sharp because we will very, very rarely call it that. But I do have F sharp and G flat. So these are the keys we have in music. Then we have 7 other columns. These 7 columns are the chords that are used in any key. Now, before you start thinking, oh my gosh, this is a lot to memorize, remember, I don't like the word memorization. We're not going to be memorizing anything. The only thing that we're going to be learning and focusing on is understanding the formula. When we're discussing chords, there are 2 very important elements of the chord that we want to understand. The first element of the chord that we want to understand is the root of the chord. The root of the chord is the note name of the chord. If we have just a letter of the chord, that's a major chord. If we have a little m, that's a minor chord. If we just have this C, that is a C major chord. The root of C major chord is the note C. The root of an F sharp minor chord is the note F sharp. The root of an E flat major chord is the note E flat. That is the root. The next element of the chord is the quality of the chord. The quality of the chord is it major or minor? Major chords will just be the name of the chord like that. The minor has a little m. Minor is a sad or somber sounding chord. We also have another quality or type, which is the diminished. Diminished is what I like to call super minor. It's basically a minor chord with a flat 5 interval. We do not need to worry about it. Honestly, the 7 diminished chord is very rarely used. We don't even need to think about it right now. Chords 1 through 6 is where the money is. Chords 1 through 6 is the most important part of this. So there is a formula when it comes to these roots and qualities that will stay the same for any key, whatever key or any song is in. The formula for the roots of the chords is the roots of the chords of any key we're in is the exact same notes as the major scale of that key. So if I'm playing a song in the key of C, I have C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Those are the notes. Those are the roots, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If I was playing a song in the key of D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, those are the notes of the D major scale. So the roots of your chords are the exact notes of the key's major scale. The qualities will always abide by, now when I say always, this is what I refer to as diatonic or naturally occurring rules. The qualities will abide by this formula of the 1, 4, and 5 chord are major. Those are the pink columns. The 2, 3, 6 chord are minor. The 7 chord is diminished. We're not even going to worry about that guy. We're probably not going to ever see him unless we're playing like gospel or jazz or maybe some interesting pop. Okay. But that is the notes, or that is the natural number system formula. So if I was playing a song in the key of G, these are the notes of the G major scale. 1, 4, and 5 are major, 2, 3, and 6 are minor. These chords are so important to, hang on, this glitched on me. These chords are so important to understand because most songs are going to use these diatonic chords. Most songs will use the 1, 4, 5, and minor 6 chord. Okay? Now, the benefit of this, because you might be thinking, well, can't I just read a chord chart and play? Absolutely. And honestly, if you just want to play, you don't need any of the stuff I'm telling you. But if you want to understand and you really want to transform your playing and elevate your playing, these are very important things to learn. So the reason why we want to do this is because, one, we can actually figure out excuse me, let me say that again. We can actually figure out what key a song is in from this chart. Okay? Now, why is it important to know what key a song's in? If we know what key a song's in, we can assign a number to it. I'll talk about that, but we can also figure out how to solo on top of it because that's going to tell us what scales to use, and we'll talk about that later on in this week. Let's look at this right here. Let's look at the chords With or Without You by U2. Let's see what chords we have here. We have a D, A, B minor, G. I like using this song as an example because there's only 4 chords in the song and they repeat themselves on and on and on. D, A, B minor, G. Let's see what row has D, A, B minor, G. Let's see, which one is D, A, B minor, G here? I think it's the key of D. D, A, B minor, G. Yeah, that's going to be the key of D. And there's really just going to be one because look at this. Well, D, A, B minor. Oh, well, there's an A minor in the key of G. That's not going to work. So it is going to be in the key of D. So I can know that this song by U2 is in the key of D. Now, the next thing is we can assign a number to each chord in our song. So if this song has a D, A, B minor, G, the D is what we call the 1 chord. The A would be the 5 chord. The B minor would be the 6 chord. The G would be the 4 chord. Okay? So if I wanted to, I could say, this is not just a D, A, B minor, G chord progression. This is a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression in the key of D. Why is this important? Why would it be important to assign a number to our chords? The reason why this is important is because this allows us to train our ear for what we call relative pitch. Relative pitch is kind of a fancy way of saying we're understanding the function of the notes or chords in relation to the key. So a 1 chord will always sound like a 1 chord regardless of the key I'm in. The 1 chord always sounds like I'm home. It sounds like I could end the song on that and be just fine. Okay? The minor 6 chord has a function. It's the most prominent minor sounding chord. The 4 chord is what we call a predominant. It's building to something. The 5 chord wants to resolve to either the minor 6 or the 1. So there's a function to each of these. This is how you get great guitar players, great musicians that can listen to a song and know what the chord progression is without looking it up. Okay. And I actually have a great course called Ear Training Tricks. It comes with the All Access membership. And I break down, it's like an hour or two of understanding how you can actually train yourself to do that. It's amazing. But here's a great way to kind of exercise this. Oh, let me say this as well. It's also important if you want to transpose a song. Transposing is just moving from one key to another, like playing a song. Like I'm no Bono, so maybe I couldn't sing it in D, and my throat's killing me, but I'm gonna sing a little bit of it. Bear with me. But if I wanted to transpose it to another key, if I know the number system, I can. This is how we do that. If we find our key, so with this song, and this PDF right here is in the resource folder if you do want to try this for another song. Step 1, I just find my key. So I know by these chords we are in the key of D because the chords on my PDF of the chord chart are the same as the chords in the key of D row. We're going to assign a number to each one. We agreed D is 1, A is 5, B is 6, and G is 4. Then let's transpose it to another key. We could do this for literally any other key. Now, probably we wouldn't want to transpose it to like a key of A flat or B flat or E flat if we don't have a capo, but let's pretend we don't have a capo. Let's just transpose it to the key of G. I want to play this song in the key of G. How would I do that? All I'm going to do is figure out what a 1, 5, 6, 4 is in the key of G. Well, the 1 is a G. The 5 would be a D chord. The 6 is an E minor, and the 4 is a C. So I could play this exact same chord progression, this exact same song, in 2 different keys. Let's do that now. Again, bear with me here, guys. I am no singer. I will always say that. I'm a person that I will always admit when I don't know something or I can't do something. I am not a singer. I'm not a vocalist. But I want to show you this just to show you. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to play this song in the key of D first. D, A, B minor, G. Okay? This is a 1 chord to a 5 chord to a minor 6 chord to a 4 chord. Here I go. See the storm set in your eyes, see the thorn twist in your side, and without you. Okay? Now, I'm going to do that exact same thing in the key of G in a different key. Now, the range is going to be different. Okay? This is why people play things in different keys, because if a guy's singing a song and I got to sing it, maybe I can't sing it in the key he's singing it. So, let's just do it in the key of G. So, I would have to figure out a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression in the key of G. 1 would be G, 5, I'm a little out of tune here. That's okay. It's close enough for rock and roll, right? A 1 chord is going to be G. A 5 chord is going to be D. A 6 chord is going to be E minor now. And the 4 chord is going to be C. So I've got a G, 5 chord of D, 6 chord of E minor, 4 chord of C. See the storm set in your eyes, see the thorn twist in your side, and away without you. Do you see how the range was different there? So this is why it's so important to understand this number system, because if you're covering a song, if you're singing, and you probably have a better voice than I do, God bless you, and you're singing, then if you need to transpose it to a different key, you can totally do this. There's also a way of doing this with the capo, but this is so important. This is also very important if you're playing with a band, if you're playing with friends and you guys are jamming and you got to play. You have to play in a different key. This is also very beneficial if anybody in here is on a worship team or plays worship music, because what you find, churches do songs in like the key that their singers can sing in. So maybe the recording is in the key of C, but we have to play it in the key of B flat, or we have to play it in the key of D. This is very helpful for you to think these chord progressions so you can transpose things in your head very easily. Okay, so super important things to learn. So if you are interested in that PDF that explains the rules of how you can transpose, that is located in the resource folder. Again, guys, all the extra resources are located with the link that says extra resources. And like I have the circle of fifths in there if you do want to see an actual circle of fifths. The major keys, major scales blank one if you want to kind of do that. You don't have to. I'm such a teacher. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a teacher. I just want to give you as many resources as possible. Where was it? The Nashville number system exercise. Okay, you can see it right there. Okay, it's just something that I do. I really am big on resources. I'm big on making sure that you have everything you need. My students know this. I'm not married, and I'm not married, not at all, and I don't have any children. God willing, by the grace of God, it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. Guys, be praying for that. But I don't have children, so I call myself the guitar mom. So I want to make sure that you have everything that you need. I teach, and my students can attest to this, I teach every single lesson like it is the last time I may ever see you. I really do hope that you all attend the next sessions, not because I want more people in the room for my numbers, but because I know that they can help you. But I want to give you enough so that if I never see you again, if you never take another session from me, if you never take a lesson or watch anything else, I've given you quite a bit. Okay. I just think that's the way we need to be doing things. I've been in the guitar teaching world a lot, and it really bothers me when guitar teachers only give a certain amount so that you keep coming back, because they're kind of holding you like hostage. Like I'm only going to give you a little bit of information, so you keep taking more lessons, and I'm not good with that. So I want to give you as much as possible so that if I never see you again, I know I've helped you, send you on your way. Okay. So that is everything that I wanted to teach. We got through everything, and I think that was about 45 minutes to 50 minutes from what I said, which I've been doing these, this ain't my first rodeo. We've been doing this a little bit of time, so I'm better with timing. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get into a Q&A session. And please feel free if you have to go to bed. I know I saw somebody in here tuning in from South Africa. God bless you guys. If you need to get some rest, you do not need to be watching the end of this. This will be recorded. But if you do want to ask some questions, now is going to be the time. I'm going to go, I'm going to try to cap it at 15 minutes with the Q&A. But if we need to go longer, we can. Again, if you need to leave and you have a question later, hit that contact form. Again, guys, get those challenge videos in, get them into the Facebook group or the contact page. Let's get as many as we can. I'm going to announce 2 winners who will win my Music Theory Made Easy video course. It really is a fantastic resource, and you get lifetime access to that video course once you have it. So 2 lucky people are going to get that. Absolutely amazing. Let's keep it going here. So, beautiful. Before we get into it, just because I know people are going to run out the room if they don't have questions, but tomorrow night we're live again at the same exact time at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be sending an email. If you're getting emails from me and you're on that list, awesome. If you're not, click the Bootcamp registration link and put your email in there. I'm going to be sending out a link later tonight. Okay, it'll be, I don't know, within an hour or 2 after this is over, so you'll probably get in the morning. I don't sleep, so I'll get in the. I'm going to send out an email that will have the recap and the replay of this session. It will have the link to the resources and everything. It will also have the description of the challenge, the link to the Facebook group, and for all of that, okay? So look for that email from me tonight, and I will be sending out emails every morning this week with the link to the next session, okay? Here we go. Okay, questions. Let's get into it. And I've got another monitor here looking at the questions, so please don't think I'm ignoring you guys. Okay, let me see what we got here. Will you be going over capo usage? I'm not supposed to say this now, but bonus day. Okay, so later on, bonus day. It will probably be Sunday or Monday. I might have 2 or 3 bonus days, but capo theory is something I'm going to teach, okay? I think if you guys have been in here, you know bonus days are just going to happen. Can you please go over the challenge again? The challenge is just the major scale exercise on page 11 and 12 of the workbook. You can do any of it. You can do one measure of it. You can do one note, whatever you want, as long as I see effort. That's it. Post your video to the Facebook group or put it in the contact link. Can you please state again what fingers you use in order by playing the scales and circle fifths? Yes, that was quick. Yes, let me do that one more time. And guys, I'm sorry if I'm talking, if I tend to like take breaths and stuff. It's probably too much information. I have been dealing with an absolutely horrible stomach bug since I got off the plane this morning, and it was not good up until about 15 minutes before I started this session. So I'm in a little bit of pain here. That's why my voice and everything is just a little bit off. So bear with me when I'm answering these questions if I'm a little bit slow. Usually I'm just like a machine gun with answers. So give me some grace here, okay? Let me go over those finger positions. Actually, let me get I have peppermint tea. Hang on here. Okay, let's keep it going. So the finger positions, this is going to be the same for every single one of the, every single tab exercise on the PDF. You're going to start with the middle finger. Then you're going to use the pinky finger, 2 frets higher. Next string is going to be index, then middle, then pinky. Next string is index, then ring, then pinky. So if you go backwards, we have pinky, ring, index, pinky, middle, index, pinky, middle. The reason we're doing this is we have 1 finger per fret, okay? It will be the same for every single one of those tab exercises. Okay, let me get back to seeing you guys. Okay. Can you explain... Oh, I lost it. Hang on here. Can you explain the roles of the chords again? Very good. So the roles or the functions of the chord is the number of the chord. It has a certain sonic function. A 1 chord is always going to sound like you're home. For example, with or without you. That D chord, it sounds like I'm home. That's the 1. If I ended on the 4 chord, doesn't sound like I can end it there. So they all have a certain function. The minor 6 chord is the heaviest sounding minor. That's also why it's usually the only minor chord in a song. What was that you said? 1 was the home, 4 was stability. Yeah. So you don't have to think too much about this. Really, the main thing is to understand the 1, how it's the resolving chord. I'm so sorry. My stomach. 1 is the resolution. It's the resolve chord, the home bass chord. 4 is what we call a predominant. 4 is usually building to something. It's either building to the 5 or building to a minor 6. There's some sort of building element to that. The 5 is what we call the dominant chord, which has the most pull. It wants to like pull back to the 1. It wants it to resolve to the 1 or resolve to the 6. The 6 is the strongest minor. It's actually the relative minor. We'll talk more about that later on this week. Awesome. Thank you for the compliments, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for saying thank you. I appreciate that. Your videos linking the cage chord shapes to corresponding scales appear to be showing minor pentatonic scales. Would that work? Yes. So minor and major pentatonic scales are exactly the same when we think relatives. I'm going to be talking all scale stuff on night 4. We're going to be getting into that. I'm going to talk about pentatonic, major and minor, major scale, major and minor. So that when I say major scale, major and minor, the 7-note major and minor scale, so that you can really see the relationship between major keys, major scales, minor. If you know all of your major scales or major pentatonic, you know all your minor. Okay. Is the first chord in the song? No. Okay, that's a great question. Is the first chord in the song a hint to what key it's in? So as we saw in the YouTube song, it started on the chord D. Well, it was in the key of D. That's not always the case, okay? That could have been an A, B, G, D, A, B minor, G, D progression, but it's still in the key of D. What we need to do is not get so wrapped up in what is the first chord of the song, but what is the collection of chords in my song, and what row of that National Number System chart are those coming from? A lot of songs start on the 4. Okay. Very good question though, because that's something that there are some things in music that we assume it's always this way, and it's not. And it can kind of derail us. So very good question. Really enjoyed this thing. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, get practicing that challenge. I love it. Awesome. What is the definition of going up a fifth? I don't understand that in a fourth. Very, very good question. So when we say we're the circle of fifths, we go up by a fifth. That means we start on one key and one key's major scale. And then to go up a fifth, we go to the fifth note of that scale. So for example, our circle of fifth is done in fifths. We start on the key of C, and then we go up a fifth to G. We go to the fifth that we're finding is the fifth note of that key's major scale. The fifth note, or the 5 of the key of C, is G. Now we're on G major scale. Then I go up a fifth. Well, that would be D to D, so on and so forth. That is what that means. And the reason why the circle of fifths is done in fifths is because if it's organized in that each I think I'm getting a fever. Each major scale has one extra sharp added to it, or one extra flat added to it. Okay, it's really a way of organizing our keys, so it's a little easier to think about. Did I understand that to go up the circle of fifths was to include all the sharps from the previous scale? And yes, that's it. So in our circle of fifths, now again, guys, we don't have to be obsessing over the notes of the major scales. In order for us to keep moving through this boot camp, you don't have to memorize the notes of any major scale. None of it. Remember how I said we don't have to memorize? Nothing at all. Don't have to memorize it at all. Because there's formulas to these things. But yes, so we go up in the circle of fifths. You add a sharp every time. And so each major scale includes everything that was sharp in the previous key. And if you are interested in that, again, you don't need to. This is all extra stuff, guys. You don't have to know any of this. You can go to the resource folder and find the circle of fifths blank, and you can actually see the rules written out if you wanted to fill that out. Caitlin, can anybody find the key they sing in by following the same process you sing at the lower key? Can anybody find the key? So when you say find the key they sing in, if you're trying to look for, two things. One, if you're trying to look for the key that works best for your voice, you might have to try a few. I would start with the key that the song is in, and then either go up or down to a different key. Like if you're on C, maybe go up to D or down to B flat. You can also use a capo, or if you're if you're singing a song just with your voice and you're trying to figure out what key it's in, what you can do is really, like if I was singing YouTube, and I was trying to, well, what key is that? How do I know what key the key that's in if I'm listening to it? My ear training tricks video that the all access members get access to explains this in depth. This is just one part of the process. If you sing the song, okay, if I'm singing the song and I want to figure out what key it's in, sing the song and play every single note from the open string to the 12th fret and just find which one fits the best. Okay. D really works. So it's probably in the key of D. I know I did that fast, but my ear training tricks, it's like an hour or two of explaining how to do all of that. Okay. Do you have an 18 measure solo formula? What is okay, so all improvisational stuff, we're going to be talking about that on night 4. Night 4, I'm going to talk about the best way to get into improvisation, the best way to solo, and I will show you my exact formulas to soloing, okay? So that's one, I will answer that in depth on night 4. That's the scales and improvisation night. Is there a course to help with finger accuracy? Yes. Okay, so I have a great course called Ultimate Chromatic Workout. I also have a course called Chord Transition Tricks, which helps you with that. Also, all of my Scale Blueprint courses go into this in depth. Again, guys, if you are interested in these courses, you can check them out by going to the link underneath that says check out the courses. I would recommend, though, if you are interested in these courses, do not purchase them right now. They are very high quality courses. They're very expensive courses. If you wait for the all access membership doors to open, you get lifetime access to all 30 courses, 40 hours of masterclass recordings, hundreds of diagrams. You get access to the price of just a few courses. So if you are interested, I would wait for Sunday night when those doors open, okay? But I do have multiple courses to talk about finger accuracy. Are we going to go over triads or double stops? We're going to be talking about triads night 3 with cage system. Double stops, we're going to talk a little bit about that scales and improvisation night. Why is the 7th chord so ignored? Is it just not popular? The 7th chord is so ignored because it's a diminished chord, which is a minor chord with a flat 5. It just isn't fitting to most styles of music. You see it a lot in gospel, in jazz. You also see it in some some elements of like rock, like nu metal and other things like that. Can you explain how the sharps and flats appear when you go to the next key? So the reason why the sharps and the flats appear when you go to the next key, you add a sharp every time you go to the next key, or you add a flat every time you go to the next key. But the reason why it is a sharp or a flat is because of the major scale formula. So you start on G, go up a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step. Well, a whole step from E to F sharp, or a whole step from E is F sharp, not F. So it's because the way the major scale formula is. I hope I answered that one correctly. Thanks for using, oh, thanks, Mike. To the B strength, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving me the national numbers. Awesome, love to hear it. The flats are when you're walking down the notes, and sharps are when you're going up. Not necessarily. This is something that is so, it's taught like that. The reason why when I did that chromatic scale exercise, when I was going up with the sharps and down with the flats, that's just so we start learning where all of them are. You could also easily do E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A. You could do it like that because if we're in a key that uses sharps, like if I'm playing With or Without You by U2 and that's in the key of D, I'm only using sharps. I am not using any flats, whether I go up or down when I'm soloing. Okay. So when we think you go up with the sharps, down with the flats, that's just a way of hitting everything. So we know the language of it. Okay. But when we're really playing practically, we're not going to be thinking about that. And I'll be talking about that more on my scale night. Yeah, intervals. Okay. How do you know what finger for what fret on the scales? 1 finger per fret. 1 finger per fret. So if I'm doing a C major scale here, I'm only using frets 2, 3, 4, and 5. So index on 2, middle on 3, ring on 4, pinky on 5. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really battling a stomach thing. Okay. Great instruct 65 and learned so much. That's encouraging. Love to hear that. Yay for bonus day, guys. We might have multiple bonus days. What model is Charvel? This is a Charvel Pro Mod DK24 in shell pink. It's got 24 frets. I love to have 24 frets so I can, when we talk cage system stuff, I can show you 2 full octaves. I notice where there is, because there is F right on different locations of the neck. I hope you feel, thank you so much. Yes, the cable jack's in the back of the guitar, right there. Yeah, guys, it's, if I ever get sick, it's always in January, and it's always from me traveling. But I didn't want to talk about it because I don't want people to think I'm not going to show up tomorrow. Believe you me, I fought through a frozen tundra to get here tonight. If I have a stomach bug, we are not canceling, okay? This will go on as planned tomorrow night. Okay, well, hang on, I missed some things here. Let me go back here. Okay, back. Sorry, guys, it refreshed and I gotta find where I was here with these questions. What is the best way to learn the natural number system chords? Find songs in that key or just play the chords in that collection? Look at the chord chart. I would look at the chord chart first. Look at the chord chart and assign a number. Look at the chord chart, figure out the key and just assign a number. When you say nerdy for me, those are actually very important details. I love that. Thank you, Cassandra. Yes. Is 1 the tonic? Yes, 1 is the tonic. The root is the tonic. If I'm in the key of D, D is the tonic. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the well wishes with me feeling better. Would you say that the 2 notes next to each other are usually the 4 and the 5? 4 and 5 chords are usually next to each other. Okay, whoever, guys, thank you. Whoever, let me just see who did this. whoever just gave me a incredible tip, I will find who you are later and thank you personally. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, guys. I do this for free, but that is very encouraging. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't see the name or the handle right now. I think Brent sent one in earlier. Thank you so much. I will find that name and handle when I'm through with these questions. Thank you. That really means a lot. Where do we find the challenge? Okay, on tonight's email, I will put the challenge in writing. The challenge is to do any of the major scale circle of fifths exercise. The tab, it's page 11 and 12 of the workbook. Just to do any of it. You can do one measure of it. I don't care. It's any of it. As long as I see effort, you post a video of yourself doing the challenge to the Facebook group. Okay? If you don't have a Facebook, just send me a Dropbox or a Google Drive link of your video through the contact page. Okay? This was fantastic. Love to hear that. Oh, thank you. That's if from coming from an educator, that means a lot. Thank you so much. What is the best way to learn and play the guitar without learning any songs or musical genres? This boot camp. I'll tell you right now, the stuff I'm talking about in this boot camp: practical music theory, fretboard formulas, which is tomorrow, cage system, and plugging in the scales. Those are the 4 elements. If that, this is it. Do you have a format used for so? Oh wait, I already answered that one. Hang on. 3 degrees here. Cool. Absolute gold. Love to hear that, Brent. Thank you so much. And thank you for the tip earlier. Thank you. Oh, if you were, Nick was here from Refuel. I just did a conference 2 days ago. Awesome. Thank you. When am I going live again? Every night this week at 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. Possibly Friday and Saturday. We'll see. 8 p.m. Eastern. These are also recorded. The link that we're on right now, the link that I've sent you is the same link as the replay. Okay. These replays will be up until next Friday. The All Access membership that I have opens Sunday, February 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern. It closes on Friday, February 6th at midnight. Once the All Access membership doors close, these recordings go down. They go away and only All Access members have access to them. If you are interested in my All Access membership, I will tell you right now, set the alarms for Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, maybe a little bit earlier, because there's been we did not get under 300 people, 400 people in this live stream. There's been 2,300 people sign up for this. We got 1,200 in the boot camp. I'm only allowing for 150 gold memberships, and that's the membership that most people buy. There's only 10 platinum memberships, so definitely if you want that all access membership, sign up early for that. Okay, let's keep it going here. Probably jumping ahead, but do the cage shapes also fit in the pentatonic scales? Yes, Hayden, absolutely, and that is night 4. We're going to be talking about it in depth. Everything is sharp. I'll pray for them. Thank you, Cassandra. I appreciate that. I received that. Showed up late. What time? Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Felt trapped in shapes for so many years. Okay. Little theory goes a long way. Yeah. What does the root mean? The root means the name of the chord or the scale. Sorry, guys. I'm really, really struggling. Something's about to come up. The root is the 1 of the chord. Or the key, one of the keys. So like if we're in the key of D, D is the root, D is the tonic. Also, the root of each chord is the name of the chord. The root of a C chord is C. There's 3 notes of a chord, C, E, G, but the root of C is C. You gotta get up, Chris. God bless you. That's amazing. Get up to go to work. It's late night. Yeah. John, that's a great tip. Long time regurgitator, Jacqueline, I hear ya. This is it. This is gonna be very helpful for you. Complete reboot, that's it. Would you recommend a one-on-one session to assist with this? Absolutely. One-on-one sessions are the best way to hit your individual goals. The Platinum membership does come with a year of one-on-one coaching if you are interested in that. Here we go. Let's keep it going. What do the numbers mean on the page for the circle of fifths? If it's the circle of fifths, the numbers are the notes of the major scale. Scale degree numbers. There's 7 notes in a major scale. Okay. Perfect. I think we're wrapping up here. That's it. Okay, I think we've gotten pretty much all the questions. Did I go to NAMM? No, I did not go to NAMM. I was supposed to go to NAMM, and I was booked to teach at a conference, a fantastic conference called Refuel, which was in near South Bend, Indiana. It's there if you are in the Midwest and you are a worship guitar player, worship musician, or do anything in the worship realm, check out Refuel Conference, refuelconference.com. They run this conference every January. I've been teaching the guitar workshops there for the last 2 years. We had vertical worship there. Kim Walker-Smith was there this year. It was absolutely amazing. It's every year in January, so definitely check it out. I'll probably be there next year. And so it fell on the same week as NAMM, so I did not go to NAMM, but I live vicariously through some Instagram posts of people. Did you say that the sharps are played on? Yes, when you do the major scale exercise in the circle of fifth, the sharp keys are on dots, the flat keys are not. Refuel was Angie. So good to see you in here. You at Refuel. That was an awesome conference. And guys, I'll actually will be uploading the workshops that I did to my YouTube channel this weekend. If you are interested in seeing what I taught on, they're more like worship guitar workshops, but I talk a lot of theory, a lot of cage system stuff. It's fantastic stuff. They're like 2 hour-long sessions, and I'll get those up on YouTube this weekend. James, thank you so much for the payment. I really appreciate that. Thank you, James. Thank you, guys. That means a lot. Would you please state what the numbers mean of 12 or major scale and circle of fifths? Oh, on page 12. Okay, let me show you here real quick, guys. These numbers are the measure numbers. So 1C, this is just the way that it got programmed. This means that this is measure 1. This is measure 2 of the exercise. Oh, sorry. Oh gosh, hang on here. This would be measure 11. This is measure 9. These numbers are the tab numbers, or the fret numbers. If I'm going to play this exercise, I start on the 3rd fret of the A string, then the 5th fret, and so on and so forth. It's a tab reading exercise. Those are what those numbers mean. Awesome. Guys, fantastic work. We're going to wrap it up with the Q&A time right now. If you have any questions, or if I somehow missed something, please click that contact button and ask me the question. And I do just want to preface this before I leave here. If you are going to be asking questions through the contact page, I do not normally answer just questions from anybody that comes into my contact page. I really don't answer any Instagram DMs. It's very rare that I do that, just because I'm swamped with it. In the bootcamp season, which is really what I call it, from Black Friday to the first week of February is my bootcamp season. In that season, I will try to answer every single question sent to me through email as best as I can. For the rest of the year, so February through like Thanksgiving, really the only questions of the people that I answer are either my one-on-one clients, my one-on-one students, or my all access members. There is a Q&A section in the all access membership community for gold members, and they can ask me a question at any time and I can hop on and answer those questions. Okay. Guys, I love you so much, and truly from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for being here for night 1. I really hope that all of you are here for night 2, 3, and 4. Jeffrey, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for that. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I really hope you guys all attend here, not because I want more numbers in this, but because I really am trying to help as many people as possible. I do this for free. I really want to help you guys. If there are any guitar players that you think could benefit from this session, either the recording of this or the next ones, please send them the links to this boot camp, okay? Let's see. I think we really covered everything. Tomorrow night is fretboard formulas. We're going to be talking about how you can easily navigate the fretboard without memorizing anything, okay? It's the cheat codes of the fretboard. I'll be announcing the winners of the challenge. Get those challenge videos in. If you've requested to get in the Facebook group, as soon as I'm done here, I'm probably going to get rid of whatever's trying to come out of my stomach. And then I'm going to hop on and answer or respond to all those Facebook requests. Guys, thank you for being here. I love you all. I hope you've been inspired and not intimidated by music theory. I hope you've begun to fall in love with it. And I hope you understand that we're all in this together, and we're on this path to become the best guitar players, the best musicians that we can be, because honestly, it's worth it. It is such a freeing thing when you have something in your heart, something in your soul that you're trying to get out, and words don't do it justice. Okay? When I was a kid, the only way I could really express myself emotionally was through the guitar. And when you really understand music theory, you're able to speak the language fluently. And it is such a freeing thing when you can communicate with this, and that's really what I want to gift people. Okay, so I love you all. I'm Italian. I'm passionate. I cry. I yell. This is me. I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Do you guys want to say hi to Starlight here real quick? Okay, baby girl. Okay, this is Starlight. We call her Sugar, and she is the mascot for the Guitar Transformation Bootcamp. She's a 4-year-old mini Aussie, and she's a sweetheart. She is a pro at all things when it comes to guitar and theory and cage system, because she listens to me say it all the time. She's always in here. She can't do it with her paws, but she knows the cage system inside and out. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. I love you all. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Bye.